I want to be a Canadian idiot. I want to be a beer swill and hockey nut. Hi! This is ranking the studio albums by Weird Al. I'm Chris Norwood. I'm on a journey to hear every song ever recorded. And I've tackled the discography of Weird Al Yankovic. So I'm going to be talking about it here. I've also seen him in concert on the Mandatory Fun Tour with my dad, and some of my coworkers were there, and it was a pretty fun night. Highly suggest you see him. Very good live performances, but let's just jump right into it with the bad albums, and we'll work our way up to the good ones. Okay? Because Weird Al's got a massive discography. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, or 16, or 17. He's got teens of albums. The worst one, the garbage one, is going to be Mandatory Fun. Unfortunately, his latest release, and I'm not even going to go through the track listing, I just wasn't really into the pop music of 2014, and just some of the songs that he parodied were already so played into the ground that I had no desire to hear parodies of them because they were so over freaking played. Pharrell Williams, stop it. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Just stop it. I never want to hear these songs in any format ever again. So, just, that's it. For Mandatory Fun, sucked. Hated it. Oof. Coming in next, second worst, is going to be, this one kind of made me angry too. I love Weird Al. Love Weird Al, like I said, saw him live, but Poodle Hat, in my opinion, is pretty trash. It was fresh off the heels of an album that I really loved, and it was just a really big disappointment. I like the Eminem parody of Couch Potato. Angry White Boy Polka, I really relate to. It's my spirit animal, if you will. Or if you don't. eBay's okay. Everything else just kind of got on my nerves and didn't really sound that great. Coming in next is going to be Weird Al's debut album. He had sort of almost perfected his craft before his debut came out. And it's got some fun tunes. I Love Rocky Road, My Bologna, and another one, Rides the Bus. Everything else is just kind of meh, forgettable. Not bad, just forgettable. So there's a few good songs on debut, self-titled Weird Al. Nothing that great. Coming in next, I got to make sure I get this right. This is take number 2. So this video is going to be great. This is going to be take number 2, Levels of Entertainment. Next one is going to be 2011's Apocalypse. And it's hard to judge these album covers because I know they're supposed to be parodies or, jokes. But I don't like the album cover of this one. I haven't liked any of these album covers yet. We'll get to the stuff that I like when we get there. Till then, you're just going to have to deal with me bashing Weird Al constantly. This is trash. Let's see what songs we have here. Perform This Way. Poker Face. Craigslist. And Whatever You Like are okay. Again, kind of suffers the same thing as Mandatory Fun. The pop music of 2011 was just not really up to par with some of the decades or years before or after. So, Apocalypse just wasn't really ringing my bell either. Coming in next is going to be an earlier record in Dare to Be Stupid, Dare to Be Stupid, Dare to Be Stupid. I'm daring to be stupid on YouTube. Like a surgeon. Dare to Be Stupid. I want a new duck, Yoda. Yoda. And so those songs are good, and the rest are not so good. Dare to Be Stupid, not a terrible album. Not a terrible Weird Al album. So we've gotten past the terrible ones. Mandatory Fun, Poodle Hat, self-titled, and Apocalypse. Get lost. Get out of here, you losers. Everything else is not smooth sailing, but it gets, as the video suggests, gets better as we go along. Dare to Be Stupid, Dare to Be Stupid. The next one's going to be a 90s record. What is it going to be? 1992's Off the Deep End. Actually like the album cover, although it is missing a small piece of what made the Nirvana cover what it was. Disturbing. So, Smells Like Nirvana. I can't watch this. Polka Your Eyes Out. When blah 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 blah. You Don't Love Me Anymore is a real highlight. So yeah, this one's really good. Off the Deep End is really good. So it only gets better from here. This is gonna be the stuff that I really love that makes me a Weird Al fan. From after the Deep End, Off the Deep End, moving forward. We're gonna be where we got even worse. Here we go. Now, I grew up, I was a young child when Michael Jackson was popular, and Michael Jackson was my favorite singer around kindergarten age. So I really love this Weird Al album, Fat. This song is just 6 words long. This song is just 6 words long. I think I'm a clone now. There doesn't seem to be any lasagna. So this had some of my favorite childhood memories were attached to this. My parents had this on vinyl. My dad still may. And I grew up on this one. So this one, pretty special, pretty significant Weird Al in my dad and mom's record collection. That was 1988, even worse. Some of my earliest memories. I can kind of remember 1988. Coming up next is going to be Weird Al in 3D. This one looks familiar too. I may have had this sitting around the house growing up in, ooh, this was before I was born though, 84. So my parents were probably rocking this one when I was in the womb. Just eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. I lost on Jeopardy. Polka on 45 is a good polka. And then the theme from Rocky 59,000. The Rye of the Kaiser is the something blah blah. Yeah, so that one's got a lot of epic Weird Al parodies. Really love that 1984 Weird Al. What do we got next? It's going to be 86. Polka Party. What do we got on Polka Party? Living with a hernia. I unfortunately can relate to living with a hernia. I actually went back and listened to it after having a hernia. And knock it off, Weird Al. Stop making fun of my real life situations. Addicted to Spuds, one of my favorites. Polka Party is good. Don't Wear Those Shoes. Christmas at Ground Zero. One of the only Christmas songs that I like. Weird Al. There you go. One of the greatest Christmas songs ever written. Christmas at Ground Zero. Next one's going to be a soundtrack from 89. No! And I know my dad had this on vinyl. Pretty cool. Taking me back through my childhood. Definitely remember playing with my dad's vinyl of this. Scratching it all to pieces. This one had Money for Nothing / Beverly Hillbillies. If you haven't seen the video, watch it. It made me fall in love with the original. Made me fall in love with that band. And I still am always Googling about the lyrics to that infamous song. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. She drives like crazy and I can't help myself. The 80s, man. The 80s. Good stuff came out of the 80s. Okay, coming in next is a more recent one, which is surprisingly up high on my list. We got 4 more Weird Al albums. Weird albums. 2006. I actually was very much enjoying pop music in 2006. So this one, or the years previous to that, had some of the best rock and roll ever from Green Day and the likes. And they were sure enough immortalized on Weird Al's. Where is it? Straight Out of Linwood. Boom! 2006, Straight Out of Linwood. Again, you know, Weird Al has actually said it does feel like his albums are kind of late to the punch. And now it might be different because he says he's not going to release studio albums anymore. He might just drop singles or release stuff online, stream it. But 2006's Straight Out of Linwood is amazing. White and Nerdy, Canadian Idiot, I'll Sue Ya, Confessions Part 3, Trapped at the Drive-Thru, which I love it. It's so long, and don't download this song. This one's a lot of fun. I would own this one. If I purchased it, I would own it. That was a joke. My chihuahua laughed. Living with a hernia. Oh man, don't ever have a hernia. If you are thinking about having a hernia, do not. Do not do it. You will have horrific medical things done to you. I had both sides of my nose broken while they were trying to get these tubes down into my stomach so I wouldn't bleed to death. It was Oh, it was bad. It really ruined that shirt. Still mad about that shirt. It wasn't even a good shirt. I just, blood stains everywhere. Blood everywhere. Broken nose. Coming in next is going to be going back to an earlier one. A 90s record. Man, those 90s, nothing like the 90s. Alapalooza. Alapalooza is a really good one. I believe either me or my parents had this one on CD. Somebody had this one around when I was a kid. Jurassic Park, Bedrock Anthem, Achy Breaky Song was great. Living in the Fridge, and Bohemian Polka. Really great. Love Alapalooza. One of the best Weird Al albums of all time. There's only two better than that one. What's your favorite Weird Al album? Don't ever have a hernia. Please don't ever have a hernia. It's so painful. Oh man, I've had cancer, and the hernia was bad. It was bad. Anyway, this is a Weird Al video. The best two Weird Al, and I've got the physical copy of my favorite, so we're gonna get super pumped here in a minute. Coming in next is gonna be a 90s record, of course. The 90s. Actually, yeah, these last two are from the 90s, the late 90s. My decade of music. Very proud. And this is a fantastic year. Fantastic year for music. I gotta find it. Darn you, Wikipedia. Here it is. So many memories from this. Definitely want a physical copy of Bad Hair Day. Oh, 96. What a year. What a year. Controversy. An album's not good unless there's controversy around it. And this one had some controversy. Amish Paradise. It's a parody, yes. And Coolio was not okay with it. But Amish Paradise is one of the greatest songs ever written. It is. It is. Everything You Know Is Wrong is also better than anything the Beatles ever wrote. Calling in Sick, the alternative polka, is my favorite polka track because it covers my favorite decade of popular songs. Gump, he's the blah blah. And The Night Santa Went Crazy is another Christmas song that's pretty good. Weird Al making some of the best Christmas music ever in the history of everness. We got a bonus track for you guys at the end of this too, because I have some additional CDs by Weird Al that's not included in this ranking album. But here, in my hands, is the greatest Weird Al album of all decades, of all time and space, and Gerbils. Are you guys ready? Ah! Fireworks now. Running with Scissors came out in 1999 and produced, self-produced on Volcano Entertainment Records, WeirdAl.com. This is the most beautiful Weird Al record ever. The album artwork is fantastic. He got rid of his mustache, his iconic mustache. He somehow got younger. He looked younger in 1999 than he did in 1983. And he looks younger today than he did in 1999. I look older than Weird Al. I don't know what he's doing, but he looks like he's about 30, and he's actually 117. It's wild. I really need to get a hold of Weird Al doctors. This one, I gotta smell this one. I actually gotta smell this one. Oh my gosh. Oh man, this is one of my favorite CDs ever. It takes me back to my freshman year of high school. 1999. I have this entire thing memorized. There's Weird Al. There's Weird Al again. Weird Al sings lead and background vocals, keyboards, and accordion. And then you got Jim West on guitar, banjos, and vocals, Steve J on bass guitar and vocals, and John Bermuda Swartz on drums, percussion, and vocals. I've noticed a pattern in all the music that I like. Typically, the better musicians, everybody does multiple things. Typically, I've listened to a lot of rock, a lot of pop, a lot of hip-hop, a little bit of classical, a little bit of jazz, a little bit of everything. And a large majority of the time, when all band members do multiple things, those are the artists that are better. Not always. There are some bands where it's one person doing all the work and they're making good music. But when the band members collaborate, that's when beautiful things happen. And Weird Al's band, it seems like Weird Al's got a good setup, a good lineup of really great members. You got a great lyrical book here, which is important on when you're a big music nerd. And you got really easy to read lyrics. They are small, but they're easy to read. Lots of weird pictures. It kind of reminds me of a very 90s-ish looking pictures there. Look how young he looks. Look, he looks younger than me. I'm like 900 years younger than him. Makes me so mad. The saga begins. Actually, one of my friends who was at the concert that I went to of Weird Al, he actually doesn't know the original songs because he doesn't listen to popular music. He just likes Weird Al. And that's kind of unusual that you don't know the originals, but you love the parodies anyway. And I remember him saying that about The Saga Begins. He's never heard American Pie, which is one of the greatest songs of all time. What is wrong with you, Dave? Never heard American Pie by Don McLean. You gotta listen to the long version, don't listen to the little edited version. My Baby's in Love with Eddie Vedder is one of my favorite original Weird Al Yankovic songs. I'm a huge Pearl Jam fan, so that one really was nice. Pretty Fly for a Rabbi. I was really getting into the Offspring and the Green Day band and the Blink-182 fellers around this time. So Pretty Fly for a Rabbi, it was right up my alley. Really kept me going on this album. The Weird Al show theme is really entertaining. Jerry Springer, I was getting into Bare Naked Ladies around the same time as well. So just every band that I was falling in love with for the first time, like those first few years of alternative rock, this was just perfect for me, right? I had just fallen in love with Green Day and Offspring and all that stuff. Bare Naked Ladies. This Jerry Springer parody of 1 Week, brilliant. Go listen to it. It's been 1 week since we got to see cheating lovers and cousins and Mary. 5 days since they had the show with oh my gosh, so actually not, Weird Al keeps it very PG, but this Jerry Springer, I did find it very controversial at the time. Yeah, some stuff that's maybe a little bit touchy now, especially in 2020, but Jerry Springer, that's what he was singing about. So some of my least favorite tracks on here, Germs. I'm not a fan of whatever he was trying to accomplish with Germs. Just one of the weaker tracks on the album. Again, just really stupid, and I didn't find it funny or enjoyable at all. The Polka Power on here, it's a medley. Some really great songs. A lot of those 90s hits that I loved. Your horoscope for today is absolutely great, and it all came true for everyone. Ooh, let me check out my horoscope from this album and see if it came true. I'm a Libra, by the way. What is your sign? So if you're a Libra, like me, a big promotion is just around the corner for someone much more talented than you. Yeah, that actually really happened. Laughter is the very best medicine. Remember that when your appendix bursts next week. I did remember that when I had my hernia and I almost bled out into my intestines and bladder. Could not laugh. Laughing would have made me die. Yeah, that's my horoscope. That's your horoscope for today. Another one that I do not like is It's All About the Pinions. It's a parody of It's All About the Benjamins by Sean Puffy Combs and a bunch of other people. I just didn't know the original. Maybe if I knew that song, it would have been alright, but I don't know that song. Truck Driving Song is a weaker track as well. And Grapefruit Diet really isn't doing it for me. So, but there's one song at the end that makes up for all of that kind of weaker track streak there, is Albuquerque. 11 minutes and 22 seconds that you need to spend listening to Albuquerque. Albuquerque. It's an original song. And Jerry's Bake Shop, that's about as detailed as I can get into it. If you're a Weird Al fan, let me know what you think. I probably got a very weird ranking of his discography, but it's just like it seems like it's when you were born and it's what your parents were listening to. But this album was just like my first Weird Al record that was mine and not my parents, and I loved it. That 90s rock and roll, freaking fantastic. Really quick, before my camera dies, Weird Al, this was a stocking stuffer from Christmas 90 something. This came out in 94, so it might have been around that time, maybe a few years after. This was great. Some of his biggest hits from the 80s and 90s: Headline News, Bedrock Anthem, You Don't Love Me Anymore, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Nirvana, Achy Breaky Song, UHF, Money for Nothing, Beverly Hills, Jurassic Park, This Is the Life, Polka Your Eyes Out, Yoda, Christmas at Ground Zero. Perfect Weird Al compilation. Listen to Weird Al or you're not a dork. Please like and subscribe so I can get some cream. My facial protection is making me break out, making me hideous. Like and subscribe. That'll help. I wanna be a Canadian idiot, gonna beer swill and hocker nut, hocker nut, hocker nut.